Economic fluctuations occur along a country's economic journey. Indonesia is one of the G20 countries also experienced upturn and downturn in its economy. From expansion as being a net oil exporting country with progressive manufacturing industry, Indonesia became the Asian tiger. But this expansion was not permanent. Soon, Indonesia encountered contraction when Asian financial crisis emerged in the late 90s. The economy was able to recover from the crisis with different circumstances as net oil importing country, but again it fell down into global financial crisis in 2008. Like other countries, Indonesia needs an early warning framework that enable us to establish appropriate policies in order to reduce the excessive fluctuations in economy. Global financial crisis 2008 urged G20 economies towards Financial Stability Board and IMF to identify data gaps on economic and financial vulnerabilities. One of the recommendations is to extend the national accounts of G20 economies by compiling financial and non-financial stock and flows by economic sectors, known as full sequence of accounts, FSA, or sectoral accounts and balance sheet, SAB. FSA-SAB is an integrated statistical framework that captures and presents the relationship between economic flows in the real market and the financial spheres of the economy to comprehend financial interconnectedness among various sectors of an economy, ensures its consistency, establishes information about the levels of a country's economy assets and liabilities, and thus the wealth of its inhabitants at a particular point of time, provides more than a snapshot of the economy at a particular time that is indispensable for monitoring, analysis, and evaluations of the performance of economy over time, since it is compiled in its series of time, includes an external account that displays the links between economy and the rest of the world. As an integrated statistical framework, FSA is compiled based on SMA system of national accounts, an internationally agreed set of standard of recommendations on how to compile measures of economic activity in accordance with strict accounting conventions based on economic principles. Thus, the accounts in the FSA are comprehensive, consistent, and integrated. FSA measures what takes place in the economy between which agents and for what purpose. Agents in the economy are called institutional units. These units can engage in the full range of transactions and are capable of owning assets and incurring liabilities on their own behalf and have legal responsibility for their actions. The institutional units are grouped together to form 5 mutually exclusive institutional sectors, which are non-financial corporations, financial corporations, general government, households, non-profit institutions serving households, or NPIS. Those 5 institutional sectors are resident in the economic territory of a country and form the total economy. There is a delimitation of the total economy and the rest of the world. The rest of the world consists of all non-resident institutional units that enter into transactions with resident units or have other economic links with resident units. Institutional units fulfill various economic functions and undertake most of its economic actions by mutual agreement between them, called transactions. Main types of transactions are transaction in goods and services describing the supply, domestic outputs and imports, and the use, intermediate consumption, final consumption, capital formation, and exports of goods and services. Distributive transactions consist of transactions by which the value added generated by productions is distributed primarily to labor and capital, and transactions involving the redistribution of income and wealth, for example, taxes on income. Transactions in financial instruments refer to the net acquisition of financial assets or the net incurrence of liabilities for each type of financial instrument. FSA records all transactions from all institutional units in a sequence form. The accounts are grouped into 3 categories: current account, accumulation accounts, and balance sheet. Current accounts are a set of articulated accounts which record the production of goods and services and show how incomes are generated by production, distributed to institutional units with claims on the value added created by production, redistributed among institutional units mainly by government units through social security contributions and benefits and taxes, used by households, government units or NPISH for purposes of final consumption or saving, available as saving for accumulating wealth. Accumulation accounts record flows that affect the entries in the balance sheet at the beginning and the end of accounting period. The capital account records acquisition and disposals of non-financial assets, produced and non-produced, as a result of transactions with other units. The financial account records acquisitions and disposals of financial assets and liabilities. The balance sheet shows the values of the stock of assets and liabilities held by institutional units or sectors at the beginning and the end of an accounting period. Each account shows the resources available to the institutional units and the uses of these resources. An account is balanced by introducing a balancing item defined residually as the difference between the total resources recorded on one side of the account and the total uses recorded on the other side. The balancing item from one account is carried forward as the first item in the following account on the opposite side, thereby making the set of accounts in an articulated whole. Where we stand, Indonesia is now struggling to finish the FSA debut. The 2010 estimate is treated as prototype and will be continued by speeding up compilation for 2011 up to the most recent data. The series will be launched in the second semester of 2017, parallel with the preparation for quarterly FSA SAB. Data from whom to whom are absolutely needed to enhance data quality and consistency by providing more cross-checking and balancing opportunities. By this way, Indonesia's FSA SAB can be used as an analytical tool to describe intersectoral linkages and to assess financial vulnerabilities and risks. It will allow us to answer questions: who is financing whom, in what amount, and with which type of financial instruments, permits us to trace who is paying or receiving dividend income, etc. We need to stick together, cooperate, and commit to take an important step in filling one of the most significant data gaps identified during the recent crisis by providing data in the framework from whom to whom basis to be incorporated in FSA by BPS and Bank of Indonesia. BPS, as a leader of compiling agencies, encourages data source agencies and users to comprehend concept and workflows of FSA SAB in order to be aware on how to benefit from FSA SAB. We do not expect the crisis, but we have to be prepared in case of crisis. Let's collaborate for a better Indonesia.